Hey, good evening, guys. Good evening, and welcome to a brand new show of mine called Footy Vibes Show Episode 1. Before getting to the show, please like, subscribe, and also share the content on all social media platforms. Please do. Okay, listen, we're going to have a chat about football, about our clubs and that. Do you know what I mean? And our other clubs. And I'm joined by one of the guys at the day from long time when I started back my new channel, which is this one. I had this esteemed fella rocking with me. We had many of hours at the day debating about football and such, and it was really good. Onome, welcome back.
Thanks for having me, man. How's it going?
It's good. It's well, you know what I mean. And thanks for being here. Do you know what I mean? It's been a
Thank
minute.
you.
Actually,
Yeah,
do
therefore.
you remember those times we used to do those shows like 4 or 5 hours long?
Uh, when we used to battle, the only battle that there ever was been.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you, it was great. It was great to sort of like come together with with a guy who's so passionate about football. You know what I mean? As me, talk about passion about football. I have got my Geordie fan in the house. This guy is a
Yes.
this guy is a G, man. He's a guy. Listen, this guy right is a proper Geordie. No carbon copy.
Crystal ball, Geordie.
He's a proper Geordie. How are you,
Geordie?
How are you?
I'm great. Grew up in Bristol, but I lived in Newcastle for a long time, so I came back to Bristol. But yeah, I've got a broad Geordie accent. I'm trying to tone it, but I'm doing my very best. But you got some strong accents as well. You got Doug as well. Doug. He's got a strong Scottish accent. He's a great guy. And just on the show, absolutely fantastic. It's worth checking out.
Listen, John May, don't change at the end of the day. Don't change because you're authentic, man. You're authentic, so don't change, man. You're all
Thank
good.
you, man.
You know what I mean? You're all good.
I tell you about Jez. If Jez is watching as well, Jez, you are a legend, and I love you out of it. Wow.
Oh, he's a great guy. He's a great guy. So listen, right, we're gonna start off at the day with the game that on Saturday, 5:30. It was Newcastle at home at St James's Park at 4 playing against Man City. It ended up 3-2. So, Odome, how did you see that game, my friend?
To be fair, that game is fantastic. Obviously, Newcastle. That's one of the stadiums I fear, to be honest. Not just from recently, but from back in the day. It's like a copy and paste stadium. Like they got 52,000 sitting there. I don't even think these guys go home. They there till next Saturday. They probably there now waiting for the next game. Like I will refer Newcastle to like when I used to play in Algeria, for example, right? Before the game starts, around kickoff will be 3 o'clock. From around 11 o'clock, the stadium is fully packed and they're singing from around 11 o'clock. That's the kind of atmosphere you get at Newcastle. And these guys are just ready. It's a scary stadium. Last year, I remember last year when we drew 3-3, and that was the first time I'm like, okay, these guys are back. Like they're back to how they used to be. As soon as we got that equalizer for the third goal, I just said, listen, ref, we'll fight another day. Let's just go home. We'll fight another day because these guys are not even respecting the thing. They just want to move into our souls. We're not even having it. Let's just go. And it was just the quality of Kevin De Bruyne last year as well. The passing between the legs for Bernardo Silva that Newcastle didn't even see anything. And it was like, oh, we got the goal. Let's go. And it was the same thing again this year where KDB comes on. He meant that. He meant that pass between the leg of the defender and into the net. Prior to that, I wasn't surprised that they came back and they got the 2-2 and the stadium was loud. And I think to myself, thank God they got those goals early in the second half, in the first half, so that we could go back in halftime and we can restructure and work out what was wrong. And I was just thinking to myself, if we can get one before the 70th minute, and we can get one before that time, then we can go on and win it. But when KDB came on, I just remember a feeling of, it's all going to be okay. That's the feeling I had when he came on. And shortly after he came on, it was 2-1. And then the pass for Oscar Bob for 3-2 was just like, wow, like this is the standard, this is the level. And I commented on somebody's YouTube channel today, and I said, no disrespect, but it's time for Eddie Howe to go. Like there's levels to this shit. Do you know what I mean? He's done well in terms of bringing Newcastle to where they are now. For the ambition and the money that Newcastle has got, I know they're not allowed to spend it as you want to right now, but they need that next level of a manager to now take them to the next level. I remember when we sacked Pellegrini and brought Pep Guardiola in. There is levels to this shit. You know what I mean? So that's just my personal feelings anyway. But yeah, I'll let the Newcastle fan let me know what he thinks about that.
Take it away, John. Take it away.
Well, I mean, what's that game back? I mean, the goals conceded, very, very disappointed. Yeah, there's no shame getting beat by the champions. I get that, but the way you conceded the goals, look at the first goal, right? I'm not very good at analysing things, and I know technical guru, but look at Dan Burn. When that ball's crossed into Kyle Walker, right? Where was Dan Burn? He was back 20 yards away from Walker with the ball and Dan Burn. He was actually jogging before he put the cross in. Why did you not pick him up? You're the left back. You're the left back, yeah? Why did you not pick him up? Do you know what I mean? And it's a poor goal conceded. It's a great finish by Open Silva, but at the end of the day, that shouldn't be allowed to happen. And then we scored 2 quality goals from Isak and Gordon. Could have gone 3-1 up. And Isak's 1-on-1 and keep that saved it. Fair play, he saved that one. And Bruno's shot, he just tried to hit it, but went under his feet. It was foot. And then in the second half, and this is not the first time Eddie Howe's done this, we sat back. We played a low block. Why did you not carry it on? Why? Man City were there for the taking, yeah?
At that time, yes.
Yeah, I understand you haven't got the players. So we've got loads of players out of injuries and stuff like that, but we looked knackered, yeah? So we sat back. And then Kevin De Bruyne came on sub around the 70th minute, and then he totally changed the game on his head. I mean, we picked the ball up. Where's the midfield? Where was our midfield? And this is why we need a 6. We need a 6 this window. But because of this FFP on profit and stability rules, I think it's an absolute BS, by the way. I can't lie. Yes, it's in now. There's all I can do about it. But I don't agree with it. It restricted our spending. It's restricted our spending, yeah? We're not going to be spending 700 M's like Arteta has. We're not going to be spending $1 billion like Chelsea has, you know? But at the end of the day, right, that's a fair comment, by the way. The thing is, right, I'm not being funny, but unless they change the rules, right, the Premier League don't want Newcastle to compete with the Big 6. No disrespect to you, Uncle. No disrespect to you, my guy. But at the end of the day, it's unfair competition. Yeah? They need to look at it again. Right? And just say, look, this could go to court. I tell you what, my understanding is Nick DeMarco is going to defend Nottingham Forest because they got charged today, right? Now, if Forest get off...
Actually got charged?
Yeah, charged. Everton got charged again as well.
All right, we'll talk about that in a bit. Innit?
Yeah, that's fine. But back on the game, De Bruyne had the freedom with Newcastle. He has so much space to hit the shot. Where's the midfield? And then the third goal, lovely ball over the top of De Bruyne, right? Where's the defence? Who left Rob there and he scored from it? Yeah. I mean, this is about the 4th or 5th time we conceded late goals and not winning. Liverpool, Chelsea, PSG, which is no fault of theirs, and now Man City. It is so incredible, man. And I'm not being funny, right? But I'm Eddie in all day long, right? Yeah. But I get a lot of people saying that Eddie Howe's not a big enough name for Newcastle United. I mean, do you think Eddie Howe is a big enough name for Newcastle? Do you think she'd give him another season? For me, I say yes.
I do.
I want to get it right.
I do.
But I've got a sneaking feeling, right? I'm Eddie in, but I've got a funny feeling the PIF will give him another go at it. And he needs to do better. Yes, injuries is part of the game, part and parcel of the game. We get that. We haven't got the squad. Give him the money he needs. Give him the squad he needs, right? And Dan Ashworth's got to fix up as well, by the way. Yeah. Where is he? I don't know. But get the players that you need. We don't have to sell big players at Newcastle. Get rid of the players that are out of contracts. Yeah, Lascelles, Richie, right? Dummett, I'm sorry to say, can't do sentiments, by the way. Emil Kraft, like him, but he can go as well. We need to upgrade our squad. We need to freshen up a bit. Richie can go as well. And I wouldn't lose any sleep if Sean Longstaff went as well. And dare I say it, it's Miguel Miron. I like him, but is Miguel Miron going to win me a title anytime soon?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I mean, I happen to like Eddie Howe. Do you know what I mean? I've made no bones about that. I've always sort of like spoke highly of Eddie Howe. Do you know what I mean? Like the way he plays football. You know what I mean? But one of my main criticisms of the game on Saturday is that Newcastle gave them too much space. Gave Man City too much space.
Facts.
Man City at the end of the day is a great team. It's a great team, and I think that, and they've got a great manager. You cannot afford to give Man City space. You can't afford it, especially Kevin De Bruyne. You can't afford to give him time and space to pick his passes and who he's passing to. Do you know what I mean? If you do that, you're on the road to hiding. Seriously, you're simply on the road to hiding.
Exactly.
And I do honestly feel it. And they, well, Pep Guardiola must have saw how the game was going, even before he brought on De Bruyne, and saw like, you know what, De Bruyne can actually pattern this game. You know, he can pattern this game, and he brought him on at the right time. Do you know what I mean? And what did De Bruyne do? Do you know what I mean? De Bruyne come on the pitch, and he done his thing. You cannot sort of like, you cannot hide away from that. And he come on the pitch, done his thing, and he done it well. Do you know what I mean? But it's just, to me at the day, it was the space at the end of the day that he's afforded to have on the pitch that enabled him to, at the end of the day, to sort of like be able to say, right, you know what, I know what I'm going to do. First at the day, I'm going to score a goal. Yeah? Yeah? And he's literally at the day, pass it into the back of the net. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
From such a distance out. Do you know what I mean? Yeah? There should have been somebody there to stop that ball.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Somebody should have stopped that ball. Then at the day, sort of like, what happened in the days is like, you know, he's picked out a good pass in the day, picked out the Norwegian guy, Bob, do you know what I mean? Yeah? Picked him out, and he's just done his thing. Do you know what I mean? He started his thing, put it in the back of the net. But what is at the day, to me at the day, Kevin De Bruyne shouldn't have had that time in order to do that. There should have been mans on that guy, mans on him. If you have to get a yellow card, take a yellow card, blood. Take one for the team. But you have to be on mans and not allow him for the team. But however, you know what I mean? You know, Man City had their chances and they put them away. And that was the difference. You see, with Eddie Howe now, to me at the end of the day with Eddie Howe, I like Eddie Howe. Do you know what I mean? And I think he's a good manager. But the only problem is at the day is when a club at the end of the day, like Newcastle, gets money. We've seen it before at the end of the day with other sort of like, you know, teams at the end of the day that's got the influx of money. You know what I mean? All of a sudden now at the end of the day, right, they, put it this way, they want sort of like the sexy name. They want the sexy football. Do you know what I mean? And all this kind of jazz and stuff like that. But I feel at the day, look, you have to give people like Eddie Howe another season and see what he does in the next season and then make a decision. I think if people was to get rid of him now, it would be a bit rash to get rid of him now. Do you know what I mean? What, the first time he comes into sort of like, comes into hard times at the end of the day, you want to get rid of him. I mean, I had a conversation yesterday, and it was talking about availability, and that what seems to be the same thing with Newcastle is that some of their players at the end of the day, you know what I mean, that can make a difference. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's like they wasn't available. Like, was it Callum Wilson? Callum Wilson, very good player, but he's never available too much. You know what I'm saying? So you tend to think and say, what the point of keeping this guy? Because, you know, he's never available. He's a dope ass player, don't get me wrong. But, you know, if you're not going to sort of like be able to show how good you are on a pitch, due to the fact that they sort of like your injury, maybe that's not the team for you then. Do you know what I mean? What's that guy from Chelsea? Reece.
Reece, no. Reece James.
Reece James. Him. Don't pass fullback and everything that, yeah. Very fast down the ring. Good passing and stuff. You know what I mean? Not as good as Trent, mind you, but he's good still, right? Yeah?
Great.
He spends most of his time either injured or suspended. Can anybody tell me what's the point of keeping him? What is the point? Do you know what I mean? You know, what are you keeping for the name? So really and truly, I think in summer, when we've got a bit of time away, but in summer, obviously, if Eddie Howe's keep his jobs, Eddie Howe's going to have a lot of hard decisions to make. Do you know what I mean? He's going to have a lot of hard decisions to make on like who he keeps for the best of the team, not like loyalty or anything like that. Who he keeps for the best of the team, and who he lets go for the best of the team. Do you understand what I'm getting? It's kind of like it hasn't done him any favors that Tonali and they, you know, with that betting scam and all that, and he's gone. You know what I mean? For 8 months or so. Yeah, that hasn't done Newcastle any favors. But you know, if you do the crime, you got to do the time. Simple as that. It's just one of them things.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, but I still got, to me at the end of the day, as a neutral, you know what I mean? Because everybody knows I'm a Liverpool supporter, but as a neutral, I have I got a lot of respect for Eddie Howe. I think he's a good manager. I mean, what do you think about what I said to Odomé? What do you think about it?
I hear that. You know what it is for me? I'm more ruthless because I know how ruthless football is. Football is very ruthless. Like the time moves on. Nobody really cares. I mean, certain players, certain manager might get time and stuff, but in the case of the project that Newcastle are looking at and Newcastle are trying to do and trying to be, Eddie Howe overachieved last year by taking them to the Champions League. Now you've got these guys smelling PSG and seeing Mbappe in the stadium. They don't want to finish 10th this season after. No Europe, no nothing, and he's back in the day again. So they're going to feel like, oh, is he a one-hit wonder? Because they need somebody that's going to consistently get them up there. I don't know if you remember, like back in the day, Newcastle was part of that top four. Do you know what I mean? They were always in that top four. So it looks like those kind of days are back again, could be back again. Now they might just need a manager that is actually got the presence and you know, making the hard decisions and stuff. Like you mentioned just now, the players you mentioned, Richie and all those players, they should have been moved on a long time ago. Do you know what I mean? A few of them should have been moved on a long time ago. So football is ruthless, right? Eddie Howe came in last year to do a job, which is to steady the ship and get Newcastle out of that relegation battle, I think the season before or something. And he did that. He's done that job. Well done to him. But it's now time for somebody else to now say, okay, we got it from here now, thanks. Do you know what I mean? It's ruthless. It sounds ruthless. But this is how top clubs and top businessmen operate. When you are of no use to a top businessman and a top, you know, all these top businessmen, they are ruthless. They don't care about the sentiments of stuff. Football's a short career. Players, managers and stuff, they will get you moved on straight away. When you take Klopp, for example, when Klopp was struggling, you had Liverpool fans and a few fans saying, Klopp out, Klopp out, Klopp out. Right, but obviously because Klopp has got a lot of credit in the bank, they were able to say no, leave Klopp alone. He'll rebuild the team. So they gave him a chance to rebuild. Eddie Howe hasn't got credit in the bank for them to now say, oh yeah, let's allow you to get some players in or whatnot. Like I don't want to give my 5-year-old £20 to go in the shop. If I give my 5-year-old £20 to go in the shop, all he goes in there to do is buy some sweets. Do you know what I mean? So can he handle this money that you're talking about? Can he take this money? Can he identify these players that you need, these good players you need? Has he got the know-how of these top players that you're talking about? The football that he plays, is he good enough? Like, is he ready for that top 4 challenge every time? Because time's moving on. Like look at Aston Villa, for example. The manager they got there is a manager that's been winning Europa League for time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's got the personality, he's got all of that, and he's just in a small club of. Not small club, sorry to say, no disrespect. It's just in a club where they don't have the money like that. And look at what he's doing over there. So they'll look at that and they go, we need a manager of personality. We need a manager that's got the know-how, that can finish off games against a Man City like that when you're playing at home, when you've got 2-1 up. to know what to do when you go 2-1 up. Do you know what I mean? So I'm more ruthless when it comes to that, because I know how football has treated me and how football does treat people when it is literally very, very ruthless. We don't have time to waste around and say, let's give him another year. Another year could be diabolical. Another team could come now and say, right, we're here now. We're in the top 4 now. We're not leaving now. So that's just how I feel about it. I feel like his time is done, and I feel like somebody needs to come and take a baton. As harsh as it sounds, I just feel like there's too many players there that you're keeping there that don't belong in this new money Newcastle. Do you know what I mean? Like Lascelles, for example. Like, I'm sorry, his time is done. Long time. Do you know what I mean? His time's been done long time.
I think Lascelles, he did have a mini renaissance under obviously Eddie Howe. But I totally agree with what you're saying. Large aspects of what you're saying, I totally agree with it. Because if you look at a Klopp, let's say at the end of the day that Klopp didn't win the Champions League and the league, yeah, it'd have been different. It would have been different. It would have been different. They would have said to him, like, you know what, and they thanks but no thanks. Do you know what I mean? Because they've done it before. You know what I mean? So I do agree with you in that way, and I think sometimes at the day, I mean, I'm guilty for it as well. You know what I mean? I'm guilty for like sentiments and everything like that, because I happen to like Eddie Howe and I want to see him do well. You know what I mean? As an English manager, I want to see him do well. You know what I mean? But then on the flip side of that, you have to make decisions at the day which is going to be of good of the club, good for the club, not sentiment. Do you know what I mean? What do you think, John?
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of agree. I mean, look, I can't agree what you the lad said up there, but what's your first name, by the way, lad?
Onome.
So I have to kind of agree with you. I mean, look, at the end of the day, right? I mean, you have to be ruthless, you know. Look, I love Eddie Howe, yeah, everyone knows that, right? But I agree with you as well. You mentioned the players you had at the club like Lascelles, Richie, Emil Kraft. I like Emil, but end of the day, he's not going to get offered a new deal anyway. Dummit, yeah? And Mancuso as well. That's 5 players right there, right? We can get rid of in the summer. We don't have to sell the big name players, yeah? The problem is, right? I mean, there's other players I get rid as well, to be fair, because I want to win a title. I want to win trophies. I want to be challenging for the top 4 in every season, yeah? We've done it once, we do it again, right? I mean, I wouldn't cry. I wouldn't cry if Sean Lonsdale went as well. I like Sean, but he needs someone special there.
He can't take it to the next level.
That is the problem. Exactly. I mean, Tonali will next season because he also won big time. I think he's going to deliver. He will deliver because I still think he's a terrific player. I've always rated this guy who is at Milan. So it's going to be him. Bruno, we can't let Bruno go. We cannot afford to let him go. And Joe Lynch has got 1 year left on his contract. We need to tie him down. And there's rumours he's going to be out for the season. And that is a massive, massive blow for Newcastle United. It really is, man. But we need to strengthen. For me, I would say, look, give Eddie what he wants, right? Let him have the players that he needs and the squad depth as well, within reason. I don't mean spend 100 mil, 250, 300 mil, because there's no way you're going to spend that money because you're not going to have that much money anyway. Do you know what I mean? However, we need to get rid of the deadwood, buy more quality in, be reasonable with it, right? Look for the new Botmans, the new Bruno G's, and the new Isak, yeah? There's players out there. We need a right winger that can actually cross the ball with his right foot, yeah? I love Biggie, but he's too predictable, yeah? I'm not having a go at him, but can we do better? Yes, we can. In my opinion,
we have to, don't we?
Yeah, we have to. I mean, if Miggy, would you have Miggy Almiron at Liverpool? Would you have Miggy at Man City? Is he going to take you to the next level at your club? Probably not.
No, you won't. I mean, that's what I'm trying to say. I mean, to be honest, today, I mean, this is what I want to put to you as well. I mean, you made a great point and sort of like, giving Eddie Howe what he wants. You know what I mean? To go out and get his players and so forth, and obviously getting rid of these players. But can we trust Eddie Howe? Because I know that sort of like Onome brought that up. Can we trust Eddie Howe to go out there and identify the players at the day that's going to make an effect in your team? I mean, it's one thing having the money, but can you identify the players at the day that's going to take you to the next level? I think that's the kind of like, the wariness, if you know what I mean. Don't you think, John?
For me, I'll keep Eddie Howe. Yeah, I'll definitely keep him, but he needs backing. He needs backing as well. He needs to get the players that he wants, and that is what he needs. Yeah, I was just saying Alan's comment, by the way. Palace are interested in Target and Murphy. Do you know what? To be honest with you,
take it.
I'll take it. I'd take it. I'd definitely take it.
Even Murphy, like that. We're talking about the next level now. Yeah. We're talking about the next level. So you've just mentioned 4 players. You've mentioned Murphy now and Target. That's 6 out of your 25-man squad.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I like
We're talking about the next level.
I like Jacob Murphy, yeah. But what is he, 28, coming on 29? He's 29 next month, I think. Do you know what I mean? And look, he's done well. Eddie has improved him. But again, is he going to be a long term? Is he going to make a difference to us in the team? I like him. I'd rather have Murphy over Miggy, to be fair. He's got a right foot and he can cross the ball. He can still cross the ball. Do you know what I mean? And he works hard for the team. Yeah. But I want to get a top quality player that's going to make a difference, yeah, with Newcastle United, yeah. But I mean, I heard someone today come up to us and say, "Get Isaac Hayden back, yeah, get him back," because apparently he's linked to 3 clubs in the Championship, yeah. And I had people said, one of them said he'll do a better job than Sean Longstaff. Really? I mean, when's the last time he played for Newcastle? 2 years ago, and also my fan base wants him back. Ain't good enough. I like Isaac. He's a decent lad. And I listen to his interviews. He's amazing. He speaks sense. I think he'd be a brilliant media guy. But for me, right, the guy's done. I don't want to go backwards, yeah. He needs to go to championship side. I think the club for him, I think Ipswich could do with him. Leicester could probably do with him. Do you know what I mean? But I want to move forward. I want to go to another level. Not go back.
Yeah, I think that's the sort of like I think that's the main point, is that you want to be going forward. And then I'll have to ask again, you know what I mean? And I'll go round and I think that both you can give me your opinion on it, right? Do you think at the end of the day, is Eddie Howe the person at the day to take Newcastle forward? I'll come to Onome first.
I don't think so. I think they need to go to that next level. Like I said, the taste of Champions League obviously came last year, came so soon, and it's like a taste of the future, a taste of what is supposed to be, what should be, what could be, what can be every year. Do you know what I mean? Can you imagine Champions League football every single season at Newcastle? Do you know what I mean? Like the atmosphere, and eventually they will now establish themselves as one of the clubs in the Champions League, where that ground is now scary for anybody to go to. At the moment, it's like, we went there last year. Okay, great. Get PSG in that ground when it's freezing cold, like he did last year, and Mbappe don't really fancy it, you know. And then the crowd is up for it and stuff. They taste that football and they want it. Do you know what I mean? So for me, I don't think he is the manager to take them to the next level. I just feel like when I look at Newcastle players, like take for example, right? This is how you know what big players do and influential players do. Did you see how nasty Bruno Guimaraes was against our players? He was horrible. Do you know what I mean? He upset them. He upset Rodri, and he's not scared of any of them. He is. I am a big name. I am the guy. He's like, who are you? I'm gonna stamp on your foot. I'm gonna get your hairs up. I'm gonna. Do you know what I mean? So those kind of, not the nicey. Oh, nice little foul. Oh, I respect you. Whatnot. No. On that pitch.
Hold on, mate. Just quick one. I'll say, you know what? Leave one on, man. Leave one on, man. That's what you got to do. You got to make them know that you're here. And
he left one on Rodri. Yeah, and Rodri didn't like it, and he upset me. I'm like, but I got it. I understood it. Like when you watch the games, Liverpool versus Man City, I go back to the season where we drew 2-2 home and away, right? If you watch those games, you will kind of understand what big players do. For 75 minutes, of the game. I think it was the one at Anfield or the one at Etihad. For 75 minutes, we was going punch for punch, punch for punch, punch for. For the last 15 minutes, it was 2-2, and you can kind of see the respect from both sides to say, you know what, take your draw, go fight your battle somewhere else. We'll fight out somewhere else, and we'll see who wins. I saw Fabinho pull Kevin De Bruyne back when Kevin De Bruyne didn't go. Oh no, he knew what Fabinho was doing. He was like, yep, respect it. I'll do the same too. Cool, no problem. Do you know what I mean? So. Yeah. This is the respect and what big players do, not just this sentimental nonsense. Like Guimaraes was like, he was amazing, and he upset us so much, but he still got to play his game. He still got to shine. You know, this is what the big players do, and these are the kind of personalities you need to take it to the next level. Does Sean Longstaff have that? I don't think so. Do you know what I mean? Just certain players in that team have that. I don't think so. I think that squad, like Pep, for example, we're ruthless. We won the treble, and he's gone to bring Jeremy Doku that's putting Jack Grealish on the bench. We ain't got time for sentiment. Like, it moves on. Football moves on. Let's go. Who's the next level now? We've not gone to sign this kid now, Claudio Echeverri, right? These are the kind of transfer from River Plate. These are the kind of transfers that we're starting to do now. I refer this same transfer to the likes of Vinicius Jr. signing for Real Madrid at 18. Rodrigo signing for Real Madrid at 18. Nobody knew about them, but right now you know who Vinicius Jr. is. So these are the kind of transfer policy that we're now starting to take on now. We went to sign Alvarez for 15 million from River Plate, and you saw what that is now. So these are the kind of policies, these are the kind of things that you need to now put in place, right? Does Eddie Howe have that to start to attract these kind of players? Do you have the Champions League football to start to attract this top player? You got the money, the salary is great, but nobody wants to come there just yet until you can promise them, I can give you Champions League. You know, you can play in the Champions League next season, 52,000 at home. You can play in the Champions League. We always qualify for Champions League, and that's what's going to attract these players.
Yeah. What do you say, John?
Me personally, with Eddie Howe, right? I'm Eddie in. Yeah, I think he needs a season with the fully strength squad, in my opinion. Yeah, he's got to, because yes, got injuries. yes, we're not doing this well because we can see so many late goals and that. And our away form this season's been absolutely shocking. One away win our season, yeah. One win in the last 8 games, yeah. 1 win, 8 defeats, yeah. Take out Sunderland, yeah. And for me, I mean, these owners are serious, very serious. They want the best, yeah. And because Eddie got us in Champions League, I think that might have saved his bacon, get us in the Champions League, yeah. So I think he'd give another go at it, yeah, with a fully fit squad, yeah. But my only concern with Eddie, he needs to get rid of his favourites, because if you don't get rid of his favourites, like the things I mentioned, then he's going to be in the firing line as well, unfortunately. And I don't want to say that, Eddie. That's just just what the owners will be thinking. He's got to change it up. We always play 4-3-3. I want to see him change it up. Like Andy said, play 4-4-2 or 4-2-3-1 or even a 4-5-1 just to shore up for the points, yeah? We can't even do a low block, yeah? I mean, last season, we were brilliant. This season, I don't know if we've been found out, but I think we've been tired. We've been absolutely tired.
Yeah. It's not easy. It's not easy. Champions League traveling and stuff, yeah.
And I think the PIF, in my opinion, wasn't I think they were caught off guard because they probably think you can go with the same squad again. But next time you get in the Champions League or qualify for Europe, you need a bigger squad. It's as simple as that. You can't have people for the likes of Jamal Lascelles. Listen, he's out of contract at the end of the season. He's done well since he's come in, but I still haven't gone. Matt Ritchie, gone. Yeah. Miggy, I wouldn't lose sleep over him. Yeah. He'd be a squad player for me.
Squad player. He'll be good for squad player.
He's good for a squad player, Miggy. I wouldn't have him gone, but good for squad player. Sean Longstaff, gone. Yeah. Matt Target, gone. Dan Burn, I'm half of him, by the way. Yeah.
Me too.
He's decent, but for me, I mean,
squad player.
Squad player. Dan Burn, squad player for me. Yeah. I mean, Matt Ritchie definitely gone. Jacob Murphy, if Palace wants him, I wouldn't have any problems at all whatsoever. It'd be good for the FFP as well. Yeah. But we've got to keep the big players in. We've got to keep the Brunos and Isaks and the Botman. Yeah.
And even that guy as well, which is good. The young lad. Anthony,
Anthony Gordon.
Anthony Gordon. He's a good
Yeah.
player. He's
Yeah.
quality. You see, what it is at the end of the day, I can understand what Odime is saying. I could also understand what you're saying, John, as well. But what I would say, you need the players like, you need a lot more players like Bruno Gomes, a lot more players like Anthony Gordon and Alexander Isak. Do you know what I mean? You need a squad of that personality and that technical ability. That's what you need a squad as. Do you know what I mean? And I think that, at the end of the day, is going to be able to make you kick forward. Now, the question would be, at the end of the day, can Eddie Howe attract those players?
That's my question.
Personally, I'm not too sure. I'm undecided. I'm undecided. No disrespect to Eddie Howe, because I love the fella. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, but I'm just being real. Do you know what I mean? Personally, I'm not sure. He's yet to surprise me if he can attract them sort of players. But in order for Newcastle at the end of the day to sort of like go forward at the end of the day as a team, which quite well it should, because Newcastle Football Club is a great institute. It's had some really great players in the past. Aspria, Les Ferdinand, do you know what I mean? The list goes on. Do you know what I mean? Of what they had in the past. Do you know what I mean? They can, at the end of the day, sort of like, get to those days again. But I say number one at the end of the day, right? It's going to be, you know what? No loyalty. No loyalty. You know what I mean? You have to get rid of players and everything like that, right? And then two, you have to bring in the right players, because one thing is having money, but it's how you use that money. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, what can I say? It's like the old saying at the day, right? Quality over quantity. Do you understand what I'm saying? One of them ones. You know what I mean? You know. But before I go on to the next subject, question here from Ravi. John, for what spine would you build around at Newcastle if you're Eddie Howe?
We need to keep Sven Botman. We need to keep Bruno G and Joe Linton, and we need to keep Isak as well. And then Trippier, I'll keep. We do another left back. I mean, Livermento's good, but we need another left back if we can do that as well. And we also going to need a right back as well as cover for Kieran Trippier. So for me, if Aquino is going to be a backup to Kieran, we definitely need a left back, because we need a left back that can actually play a left back of pace as well. A doggy, somewhere along that ink, he is brilliant. A doggy, great left back in such a short time. I watched some Udinese potential there. And midfield alongside Bruno and Joe, I keep Marley. We need a number 6. We definitely need a 6 to protect the back 4, because we're leaving gaps in midfield. Joe Linton's going to be out for the rest of the season. So we need to get a midfield, because if Bruno gets booked, then he'd be banned for 2 matches. And then who's going to be on midfield? Who's going to be on midfield? Are you going to put Longstaff, Marley, and Nova, maybe?
Miley, by the way, he's a baller.
He is a baller.
He's a baller. He's calm. He's calm. He's calm. I like him. He's got the presence as well.
Another question here for to the Man City fan on the panel: would you take Arteta when Pep Guardiola does eventually leave?
I think I know why they're asking me this question. This is obviously somebody from Tony's channel, because what I do is I wind them up so much over there, and I praise the Arteta, because I just like, you lot can keep that in it. So this is somebody from that channel. Of course, I wouldn't take Arteta when Pep leaves. I think for me, I think it's the throne is probably going to go to De Zerbi if he hasn't gone to a Real Madrid or another team by that time, because clubs like Liverpool, clubs like Man City, we prepare the next manager with kind of like similar or same vision as to what we have now. They
Yeah.
don't just hand those clubs out to a random manager that comes and shakes everything, because what it is there is a culture at the club that needs to be followed. The culture of the football club is all the youth team all play the same way. So when they
Yes.
come into the first team, they know exactly what they need to do.
Yeah.
They just know exactly what they need to do. So that culture needs to be followed. I will refer to Arsenal. Arsenal used to have a culture. I don't know if they do anymore. They used to have a culture. So back in the day when I played youth team against Arsenal, against the likes of Fabrice Muamba and stuff in the youth team, all the football pitches in the training ground, like under 17s, under 15s, under 16s, all the football pitches in the training ground were the same exact dimension as Highbury.
Yeah.
So that is a culture for the football club where these players are playing in the same exact dimension as Highbury. So when they do step into the first team, the team talk and the words to them would be, listen, same pitch, same dimension, what you've been doing before, same club out, just get the same golf club out, what you've been doing before is the exact same. So that is a culture that runs through the football club. I don't know if they still have it just now, but in the answer to that question, hell no, I wouldn't take Arteta when Pep leaves.
You know what it is? You know what it is? I think what you said and was right, and I've been saying this sort of like, for a while now. Why when they sort of like see players like Bobby Clark, Conor Bradley, and Curtis Jones, and all that sort of players come on, and they see them and they Quanta, and they see them and they think like they don't look out of place, because what they've got in Liverpool is just what you said. In Liverpool, the philosophy runs from the first team right down to the under 15s. It runs right down. So if you're called upon to either play in the under 23s or the under 18s, you know what I mean, you know exactly what you're doing, because the philosophy is the same. And when these guys like Quanta, Bobby Clark in the day, and Conor Randall gets called in to the first team, yeah, they know exactly what to do, because they've been doing it day in and day out. They train with the first team. That's one thing that Klopp does. He trains the under 23s. He trains them with the first team. They're all trained together, so they're all taking in the same tactics. So when they get called upon, there's no excuses. You can't tell me that you can't do that, because you've been doing it all along in training. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's, to me, at the end of the day, sort of like, that's like a very good thing in the day, and I agree with you 100%. So listen, let's talk about Man United today. Man United and Tottenham. It was a 2-2 over the weekend, and now listen, they've had 8 games, and they've only won 1 out of the 8, isn't they? So like 1 out of 8, because most of them mean draws and losses and stuff. What the hell is going on at Man United? Odome, what's going on?
I don't know, but Man United is one of those clubs again. Like, they've got a lot of quality players. Do you know what I mean? But they don't have like a pattern of play. I couldn't tell you how Man United create chances. When I watch Man City play, I knew exactly when, how we're going to create the chances. I knew who was going to be there and everything like that, right? But with Man United, it's just people put together and just playing, but the quality kind of gets them there in the end, and this is the thing we're talking about in Newcastle, for example, where we're saying like that top 4, you need to get it right. With Man United, you kind of still get the feeling like they're going to make top. You still get that sense of feeling like they're going to make top 4 eventually. They're going to get their act together. They're going to go on like a little, maybe a 5-game streak or whatever, and they're going to get there. The problem they have this season, though, is the likes of Aston Villa not letting go of that top 4. Aston Villa is like a dog on the bone, like we got this now, like we want to take this, right? So they don't have a lot of teams in that top 4 that is slacking to say, oh, we fought, you know what I mean? They got teams that are like, we want this, we're going to get this, and we're trying to get this, right? But I just feel like, again, Man United is another team that a lot of players need to go. I could never understand for the life of me how Johnny Evans, no disrespect, a guy that's supposed to be at this stage of his career, come back to Man United and just get his cup of tea out, put his big jacket on, and just be in the background somewhere sipping his tea, is now being trusted to be the first choice. Do you know what I mean? That shouldn't happen. Years and years have gone by and it's come back. That shouldn't happen. That's crazy to me that Johnny Evans is back there doing that. A lot of players there that need to go. Like Dallo can have the odd game, great, good game here and there, but they're supposed to have moved on from Dallo by now. You know, they're supposed to have moved on from those kind of players by now and not have them back in that team, back in that squad. They're supposed to have new players and new ideas. But this manager for me is he seems like he just fights the wrong battles. He's picking the wrong battles to fight. He's fighting the player battles and trying to establish that I am the man, I am the man, I am the man. You don't need to come into a team to let the players know that you are the man. There is obviously the player power that we know about, but you need to come there and you need to come and show the players your ideas and your philosophy. And then when they buy into it, they will fight for you. I saw a quote the other day of Samuel Eto'o played left wing for Jose Mourinho. And the next manager comes the next season and asks him to play left wing, and he said, "I only do that for Jose Mourinho." You know what I mean? So you've got to have this. You've got to have this personality and stuff, not just come and just fight the players. No, you can't training. You can't train with the first team. No, you don't need those kind of fights. There's different ways to do it. You haven't even come and stuff. We don't even know what pattern of play you have. We don't even know what your style is. How do you create chances? We don't know. Guy Nacho is 18 years old and they're having to rely on him so much this season. And it shouldn't be at a club like Man United. You shouldn't have to rely on an 18-year-old so heavily. So I know he's a good player. And he's obviously lucky that the club is in such a state where he is playing week in, week out, and he is obviously one of the names in the team sheet now. But they shouldn't have to rely on an 18-year-old guy Nacho so much right now. Kobe Mainoo, for example, absolutely amazing player. But now you're talking about giving the keys to an 18-year-old now. Do you know what I mean? So it's not supposed to be that. What then happens? These players get burnt out, and that's how their career now spans.
Yeah. Before I go to come to John, just got to big up my brother, Fuzzy, LRFC not radio. Stop that, not radio. LRFC channel. Okay, he does some brilliant content. He's a massive friend of mine and a good friend of the channel. Do you know what I mean? So please, guys, go over and subscribe to LRFC channel. Okay? Does some great content and he's a great guy. And he says, big up Monks and the panel. So big up to you, Fuzz. Big up to you. Yes, John, what do you think, my friend?
I mean, I believe Sir Jim Ratcliffe came in yesterday, I believe, to witness his first game. Was it 1 win in 8 games for United? Am I right? That ain't
one week because they've had draws and losses, draws and losses, and in 8 games they were saying if he lost the game yesterday, he could have got sacked yesterday. You know what I mean? You know, carry on.
I think he's on trial anyway. He's definitely on trial to the end of the season, no matter what. Ten Hag, you know what I mean? They're not going to get anyone in January. I know that's a fact, but you can't, like you said, you can't rely on an 18, 19-year-old lad to pull it through. Johnny Evans he's seen better days. Johnny Evans, for me, this is the worst United team I've seen in 20 years. I'm not going to lie to you. The worst United team I've seen in 20 years. Yeah. We've beaten 3 times. We've beaten the last 3 times. Yeah. We're not scared of these anymore. But they led twice, goal up, 2-1 up, and they just couldn't see the game out. That is the thing. For me, Scott McTominay, I'm not going to lie, but he's not going to flip the United a title. There's no way. You need to get another midfielder. I mean, let's be Amber. What's happened to him? Why is Ten Hag not using him? That's his player, isn't it? Why is he not using him? I don't get that. He is a fantastic player, but he's been unlucky. He's going to bug off back to Fiorentina anyway in the summer. You know what I mean? And the thing is, on Rashford, right? Yeah, apparently he stepped up yesterday. Where's that performance from Marcus? Yeah, I mean, this is why I wouldn't have him at Newcastle United, because sometimes he's good and he only plays when he wants to play. Martial, I'm sorry, get rid. You should have got rid of him.
Why is he still there? A player like Martial, a player like Man United, send a first team player on loan and still bring him back to be the number 9. Why has he gone on loan in the first place? Do you know
Doesn't
what I
make
mean? Like
sense.
you don't send a first team player to go out on loan, an established first team player. You send youth team players on loan. You send players that are about to break in on loan, not a first team established player on loan, and they still bring it back and still rely on him. I'm sorry, that's not good enough.
Not for me. Not for me. I mean, for me, I get him gone. You should have gone years ago. I'm sorry, but you got Bruno Fernandes, right? Bruno Fernandes. Honest, he's a fantastic player, but he cheats a lot. And he doesn't need to do that. Yeah, in big games, I think he steps up. But the end, Alan again. He loves finding United fans on. Steve Bruce is the next.
Oh, no, I hear Jim Ratkins is looking at Steve Bruce as a yo, peak days, bro. That's peak, bro. That is peak. Carry on, John.
So you gotta love Alan, haven't you?
Yeah.
He's my guy. And his wife is lovely as well, I believe. You know what it is, right? For me, Garnacho's going to be a fantastic player. Hoyland needs to run the games. You got to play him now, you know what I mean? He needs games. He's going to come off. He will come off. That guy's going to be a fantastic player. He really is. Martinez, Sandro Martinez is a decent defender. Varane, I'll tell you now about Varane, right? He is still a quality defender. Don't get rid of him. Keep him. Because at the end of the day, I'd take Varane as in James's Park. No problem at all. He is still a quality defender, yeah? Don't diss him. Do not diss him. That is down to the manager, yeah? Varane's class, yeah? He's won lots of things in his career. He's won everything in his career, yeah? Casemiro, that was going to happen to him. Brilliant first season. What's happened to him? I don't know. Has he been the same player? Real Madrid do not get rid of players that they deem not good enough now. Do you know what I mean? They get the best out of them and they float them on. They
squeeze all the juice out of him and him on.
You know what it is? Right? Like when I look at sort of like Casemiro, it's always going to be that sort of thing with Casemiro that he will have obviously one good season and the next season will slow down because of his age. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now let's not get it twisted in the day. If Casemiro at the end of the day had any worth at all, he would not be at Man United. Yeah, he would still be at Real Madrid. Do you understand what I'm saying? He would still be there. And I do think that they sort of like Varane and Day looks a bit suspect sometimes because he hasn't got the right partnership with him. If he's got like a defender with him and Day at the same level as him, excuse me, you'll see a different Varane. You see consistent sort of like performance with him every game. He hasn't got the right sort of like hasn't got the right defender with him. I mean, he's with people like excuse me, Maguire. His partnership with Maguire sometimes. His partnership with Johnny Evans. I mean, Johnny Evans, man, he's 36 years old, man.
He's done.
He's at Everton. You know what I mean? So I don't know why he's back with the club. You know what I mean? I don't know why he's back with the club, but you cannot have that caliber of player at your club and expect to do bits. Dallo and the day, I don't rate Dallo. To me, Dallo and the day is a squad player for me, if that. You know what I mean? And they got the thing that they individually in their squad, they got some right players, got some good players actually. I mean, Garnacho, he's a good player. Do you know what I mean? As I said, Rasmus Højlund, he's good. He's good. You know what I mean? Actually, he's good when he sort of like when he can be bothered. You know what I mean? So they have got quite quality in their team. I don't know what Anthony Martial is still doing in that squad. It's beyond me. It's literally beyond me why this player that you bought when imagine that day, they've gone through 2 managers, and he's still at the club. Because remember, he got bought in with what's his name? When Van Gaal. When Van Gaal was there, he brought him in, and he brought that other guy from Southampton as well. What's his name? Oh God, he was another midfielder for Southampton, French guy. Can't remember his name. Didn't lose.
Oh, I know who he is. I know. I know exactly who he is.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly who he is. There,
yeah, he brought them two at the main time. But personally, at the end of the day, that midfielder they brought him for Southampton, he was all right. He wasn't too bad, actually. Do you know what I mean? But, like, that was so long ago, at the end of the day, that you brought this player in the day, right? You deemed him not good enough at the day to be playing for your club. He's still here. He's still here. What's he still doing?
Morgan Schneiderlin.
Yeah. Morgan Signing,
Good player. He's a decent player.
He was a decent player, but Martial wasn't.
Exactly.
He's had one thing.
I mean, the fact is so, right? I mean, Shannon gave us all. But this guy and this Martial, I'm sorry, but you know what? I mean, the sooner you get rid of this guy, the better. Because not for me.
No. It's just it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Right. So the last subject I want to talk about in the day is Everton and Nottingham Forest. Well, Everton have been brought up on charges again. They could sort of like they could sort of like lose another 10 points, and if they lose another 10 points in the day, that's relegation for them. That surely is relegation for them. They'll probably get relegated. They've done well at the day to come out of sort of like the last 10 point deduction. They've done well to survive that. But another 10 points, you would think at the net will finish them. Nottingham Forest the same. You know what I mean? They haven't had a 10 point reduction, but if they do get a 10 point reduction, that will finish them. So let me get your feelings on that situation, Everton and Nottingham Forest. What's your feelings about it?
To be fair, I'm probably not one to talk because we got something coming our way probably, but I don't know how these things are not things that I generally tend to comment on because I don't know how deep it goes or the rules and regulations for these things and stuff. But obviously, you know, points deduction is never nice for any team. You just think of the players that are playing now, fighting and playing for their livelihoods, and it's not their fault that somebody up there is making a mistake. Or I mean, I just think back to like when you say, oh, this club feeded an ineligible player in the FA Cup and they got knocked out. Do you know what I mean? Can you imagine you feeling like, how can you guys not know that player shouldn't play? So now I've got to be out of the FA Cup because you decided to play Tom, Dick and Harry. And so I don't really know how these kind of situations work, but it is harsh on the players that are playing due to the club not doing what they're supposed to do and the club knowing the rules and not following the rules or whatever they got to do. It's harsh on the players and the fans, obviously, from my point of view. But I can't really comment much on it. But it's you just have to wait and see what the results are.
Did you say you got your one coming up soon?
Well, we got something coming our way. Everybody seems to think we've got something coming our way, don't we? Don't they? 115 counts and stuff. But I mean, some of them charges there is like the grass is too long. That's why Kevin De Bruyne played that pass and Gundogan scored that goal and some nonsense like that. But we'll see what happens with that, you know.
What's your thoughts on it, John?
For me, FFP, I don't really agree with it because it just strips our spending as well. Looks after the big six, but rules are rules. But for me, if you overspend and you get caught, then you're going to get it. Oh, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yes, it's harsh. Yes, it's not right. But at the end of the day, rules are rules. And they're going to be gutted. Everton, you would have thought they learned the first time and they got caught again. Now, in Forest view, right, they could have sold Brennan Johnson for 13 mil a couple of weeks before this FFP came in. And they got caught out. Now, my understanding is they got Nick DeMarco, the lawyer, right? He's going to defend us. He's going to take them on. Now, I tell you what, if Forest wins this, it could open a whole can of worms on this one, I'm telling you. Because Nick DeMarco is a cracking lawyer. He really is. He's the one who's going to take on our case for the takeover. And we would have won it hands down. He's going to take on the Premier League. We would have won it hands down. But the Premier League bottled it and said, you know what? You're going to have to take over. But Everton, I'm afraid to say they're going to be in massive, massive trouble. If they get 10 points, they're going to be second bottom. Yeah, with 7 points above Sheffield United. And if Forest gets 10 points deducted, they have 10 points. they'd be in the bottom three. So Luton, by the looks of it,
will come up.
Will be out. Yep, they'll be out in the bottom three, and I believe Burnley will be as well. Luton and Burnley will be out in the bottom three.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Because like, if two of them and they go in the relegation at the day, right? It's not going to make any difference to Sheffield United. I think Sheffield United are gone already.
Oh, I think they're done.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But the last one at the day, that's sort of like 17th. And then you've got Burnley, that's 18th. You know what I mean? Those two will come up. Then we'll see it in the Everton and Nottingham Forest will take their place. And I've got a feeling at the day they're going to push for it. I've got a feeling at the day that they will. I'll put it this way: at the end of the day, I think Everton probably will get it because they haven't got that manager, they haven't got that sort of like high profile sort of like solicitor that can get them out of trouble. So they're going to get it again. So really and truly, at the day, it could mean at the day sort of like Luton survive. You know what I mean? It could be Luton survive, and then if things go the way that we probably think it's going to go with this like lawyer that Nottingham Forest has got, and they bust the case, right? That means at the day sort of like Nottingham Forest will stay in. But you see, to me at the day, right, it's just like as Oda May said anything that right. At the end day you have to watch the FFP. You have to watch it. You know what I mean? Yeah, right. How can you still at the end of the day getting yourself in trouble? How can you still be doing that? If you know at the end of the day that you can't spend this much and not be bringing in that much, you know what I mean? But that's what it comes down to. It comes down to at the end of the day it's being able to balance the books. You know what I mean?
That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing right now with our youth team player. Our academy is just firing right now. We're selling players left, right, and center from the academy, which balances up the books at the upper end of the scale. We sold Cole Palmer for 45 million. We sold Carlos Borges. I think Carlos Borges went for like 20 something or something like that. No one's even heard of Carlos Borges, but it was the next youth team player coming up, but he wasn't going to get a chance. So we're doing that now and balancing the books with that. Obviously, these charges that we've got is like from back in the day and the past. But I do have a question for both of you before we go. We can't just not talk about the current title race, which I believe, Rodz, welcome back to the battle, my friend. The only team I am truly, truly scared of, and I always say that every stream I go to, I said Liverpool is the only team I'm scared of. Like when you guys can come and push us. Remember the season when, and you, John, for example, I've got a bone to pick with you. How dare you allow Divock Origi in that last minute? You sank my heart in that season when Divock Origi scored that header. I'm thinking, Newcastle, man, come on, do us a favor, right? That season, my heart rate was it was gone. It was lost. So, Rodz, we are here again. Rodz, we are here again. Me versus you, the way the battle is supposed to be. What do you think with this now? Because I think you guys hold the key in terms of you can completely wipe Arsenal out of the title race and say, Arsenal, see you later, right? If you beat Arsenal, that's Arsenal done. Arsenal are not going 8 points behind Liverpool and thinking they're going to go above Liverpool. They'll be 8 points behind Liverpool. They'll be 6 behind Man City. It's done, right? Forget about it. But if you let Arsenal back in, right, into the title race, then they start to want to talk again. And if you let Arsenal back in, what you then do is you actually give us the keys. And I'm sorry to say, if you actually let them back in, if they beat you and we go above, when you go to the train station and you see Mind the Gap, that's what we're going to say to you if you do that, right? But I think you can wipe them out the title race. How do you see your chances? Because I do fear Liverpool, but this Liverpool side doesn't strike me with the same fear as before, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because it's different players, isn't it? It's different players.
It's different players. They don't strike me with the same fear as before. They kind of concede a few goals and stuff. They'll get the odd results. You go, huh? How did they draw that game? How did they lose that game? How do you see the title race between us v you?
Yeah, so like that's a very interesting one. Do you know what I mean? And I had a feeling that he's going to bring it up. You know what I mean?
Of course.
No, but listen, I think with the fear factor, I think what it is now, these crop of players that we got, and the new crop of players that we got now, I've got to earn that right for that fair factor. Do you know what I mean? Whereas the ones before, they earned that right because they was consistently doing it, and they earned that right. Do you know what I mean? These players now, I've got to sort of like earn that right. We do have a habit of pulling off games at the day. Even when we go down 1-0, we do sort of like have the habit of like coming back in the game and winning the game 2-1 or 3-1 or so forth. You know what I mean? Even we're down to 10 men and stuff. It's great that because all right, Man City came at the day to Man City came to Luton and played Luton, and I do stewarding. And I think that I do stewarding and that. So I saw a lot of the Man City fans and that. Big Steve, I was chatting with him and stuff, and I was chatting with a good little chat with a lot of the Man City fans at the day, and they'll say the same thing as you. Hands down, when Liverpool and Man City at the end of the day are challenging for the league, yeah, it's the most exciting league it's ever been. It's excitement because you literally don't know who's going to win. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Even when sort of like, do you remember? Do you remember that day, sort of like that season and day when you had that gap with us? Yeah, had that gap with us, and we started winning games.
Like, I think the Gundogan season. That's the Gundogan season. That's last season.
Yeah, and
season,
we lost it obviously by the point. Which other day is very well played by Man City. He deserved it, but it's just the fact that the day sort of like even with a gap, you know what I mean. You
it's
still
nothing.
don't know who's going to win it. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Right. My stance is at the moment is this: if you're in the new year and you're top of the league, yeah, the new year, you've got hope. You have got hope, yeah. When it comes to March and April, and you're still at the top of the league with a reasonable gap, you start believing now that you can actually get across the finishing line. So at the moment, what I would say in respect and the day to the league, can we win the league and so forth? Because that's what the question really is: can we win the league? You know what I mean? Yeah. Because I've answered the fact that today it's very exciting that Man City and Liverpool are competing for the league again. It's very exciting. Do you know what I mean? And expect some fireworks, and also expect some surprises as well. You know what I mean? Yeah, along the way. But like at the moment and day, what I would say at the day, if you could ask me now, are we going to win league? I've got hope. That's all I've got at the moment is hope. You know what I mean? If you ask me in sort of like in ending of March, coming to April, and I mean, and we've got a little gap, then I can say, yeah, I believe. Do you know what I mean? But at the moment, it's hope for me. But listen, it's very exciting and everything that Man City and Liverpool are competing for that league again. It's very exciting because I think that's when you get some fun. We gave Arsenal a chance to take over and do their thing, but we all know what happened. You know what I mean? I don't have to repeat what happened. You know what I mean? So listen, what do you think? What do you think?
What do you think, John?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'll have to agree. It's going to be the top two between you and Liverpool. And it's going to be a battle. I mean, Liverpool beats Arsenal, like you said, they're out. Arsenal not win the league anyway. Let's be honest about it. Big up to Craig Smith. Big up to Craig.
We need to get rid of the dead wood so we can see the top. Just us two, just challenging. That's just. Let's get rid of the Aston Villas. Let's create a gap now. Like, thanks for coming, pacemakers. Well done. Like, come out the way now. Let's go. Do you know what I mean? That's just my feeling. So I'm just saying, Rodz, get rid of Arsenal once and for all, so that we can just go right. Okay, cool. Like, it's done.
And I'll tell to lose, and then I'll tell the guest to sack the best looking Spaniard ever seen in my life. Nuts. You know what I mean?
No, but you know what it is? I think even with Aston Villa is making it exciting as well. Do you know what I mean? They make it exciting as well because they're full of results. So they are making it exciting because people are kind of looking at Aston Villa as well. Do you know what I mean? Probably not so much, but they're kind of looking at Aston Villa as well. Do you know what I mean? But that just makes it more exciting, more sort of like ingredients for the cake, as it were. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's listen to me at the end of the day, right? Happy days at the end of the day, right? And I want Man City and Liverpool at the end of the day, right, competing for the league right until the end. Yeah. If you ask me who I don't want to win the league, obviously it's Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? But you know what isn't there? I want a challenge, because you know what it is. When you look at what Liverpool's done this season, when they ripped out the spine of their team, everybody wanted them to rip up that spine and replace it. They ripped up the spine of their team and everything and replaced it. So anything that we do going forward at the day, back then, going forward, it's a bonus. It's a bonus, because we're not supposed to be here. You know, we're not supposed to be here. We're actually changing the spine of the team. Do you know what I mean? So I think they cop at the day, he's done very well to get us there. Do you know what I mean? Hopefully we can sustain it. Do you know what I mean? But it's a bonus. It is a massive bonus. That
The thing is, you say you're not supposed to be there, but this is where I have a lot of respect for Liverpool, and this is why I fear them so much. I knew they were going to be there. The front line of Liverpool always has goals in them, and it just takes Van Dijk to organize that defense and stuff. And I think your best pairing is Van Dijk and Konate, right? It just takes Van Dijk to organize that defense, right? You got the spine of your team. It's all about the spine of teams these days, right? The spine of your team. You got Van Dijk, Konate, right? Okay, your midfield now, but you've now seen that Szoboszlai is actually shown through. So you now got Szoboszlai there, and then your front three or your front five, I should say, right? Nobody has the firepower you have in that front line. It's only us that's really competing with that front line. I mean, Arsenal has a front three and nobody else. Do you know what I mean? So the spine of your team, Alisson in goal. I mean, Alisson saves you how many points every season anyway. It's not like you have a dodgy goalkeeper, like at Arsenal, for example, got the goalkeeper crisis. So I always knew that you guys are back and you guys are going to be there. You guys are trying to do, the thing is, you've been trying to tiptoe into everything and go, oh, we're not there. I'm like, bullshit. I'm like, I've been calling Liverpool out in all these streams I've been. I'm like, it's Liverpool. You guys are not seeing them. They're coming. And all of a sudden, they top of 5 points. Everyone go, oh, Liverpool. I'm like, duh. It's Liverpool. Like, I've been saying it for a long time.
You know what it is? You can't trick on me, you know.
You can't trick me. I've been saying it. I'm like, what you lot? They're trying to tiptoe. They're trying to do the whole humble nonsense. Don't give me that humble crap. I know what Liverpool's about. I know what you guys are about. Like your front five, Salah's gone to the AFCON. Yes, that's great. But guess what? You've got Elliott, that is an established player that will still come. Might not give you the same quality, but will give you moments and stuff. And all you need is moments just before Salah comes back. Just saying. So you got replacements. If you take a Bukayo Saka out of their team to go AFCON, for example, or you take a Martinelli to go to Brazil, for example, then they're struggling. But not Liverpool. You got Jota to come into that team. Do you know what I mean? There's firepower in that team. I'm like, I'm not buying this whole Liverpool tiptoeing and everybody's not looking at Liverpool. And all of a sudden they top and everyone's going, oh yeah, Liverpool top. Oh, give me a break, man. They've sneaked in there without people even looking at them. Get out of it. You know one defeat in the season, and you lot are not looking at them. Get out of it, man, please.
You know what it is? That's why you asked the question. You can't go around this guy, you know. That's what I love about this guy, you know. He can't, because he sees everything. He sees everything. This is what I love about the guy. But listen, you know what I mean? We're gonna take this up again next week, same time next week, and if it's not, I'll send a link in it because I really enjoyed tonight. You know what I mean? Anyway, I know you haven't got a channel. You know what I mean? I know you haven't got a channel. So, John, can you sound out your channel and what you got coming up next?
Yeah. Thank you for shouting us on. I haven't decided what I'm going to do tomorrow or Wednesday. It's one of the two. We've got no football, haven't we? So I've got to think of do something as well. But just keep your eyes peeled, really. I'm going to try to do the transfer show as well to see who we've been linked with. But I guarantee you, we're not linked to anyone now because Calvin Phillips and that deal could be off. And so we have to think. I'm going to try and do like football chats as well. So yeah, if you want to come along, cool. You're invited. Yeah.
Cool. And by the way, sorry to say, Calvin Phillips is not the next level for you. I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, he's not the next. So you don't think he's good enough?
It's not the next level for you.
What you want, not
for where you're trying to go. I'm sorry to say, like, I don't rate him at our club either, but it's not the next level for you where you're trying to go. I think what it is the media kind of puts players where they want players to be, and then the club, oh yeah, we could do with him. And so like the media kind of signs players and trying to put players so that they don't go too far down the pecking order. They don't go too far down from where they're supposed to be. He's an England international and stuff like that. They still have to put him in the top club. But for what Newcastle need, is not the next level. He slows things down so much that it's literally almost playing in slow motion, and he looks for that Hollywood pass all the time. That even when it's not on, he hits that great pass, and everyone's go, "What a pass! He's got a range of pass." Miss me with that. I need a midfielder that plays percentage football. Rodri plays percentage football. My passes are going to get there. I'm going to play that pass because I know that that's a certain pass. There's times when our right back is overlapping, and even I can see and say, "No, it's not on this time." And Rodri sees it. Not playing this time. Do you mean not playing this time? You need a player that plays percentage football, not just, oh, that's the Hollywood pass. I'm going to hit that pass and I'm going to give it the jog after and go, yeah, what a pass. Like, we ain't got time for that. Play percentage football, play pass. Like, before Gumi Reg had that ball, you could see that, oh my God, give him that ball right now. You know what he's going to do. And he actually executed it so well. That's what you need.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Before I say, I mean, you talk a lot of sense, my guy. If it's not going to be Eddie Howe going to be our manager, who do you think should be the next Newcastle manager? Who do you think should get if it's not going to be Eddie Howe? Who's going to take us to the next level?
I don't know why everybody's sleeping on De Zerbi, but if we get De Zerbi, that's us sorted for the next 10 years, right? That's all sorted for the next 10 years. You can see the philosophy. You can see his transfer policy. You can see his style of play. He's got an identity. He's got a style of play, right? Yeah. What is wrong with a Newcastle going to shake the boat and say, De Zerbi, we want you, right? Ask a question. Do you know what I mean? Ask a question and get told, oh, no, not for now, or he's not what, no. But at the end of the day, right, you offer the right money, right? You already got the fans behind you. You already got 52,000 that don't leave the stadium. Like, these guys are there. They probably, like, when they leave in the stadium, they take their shirt off and put it on the seat. You know, when you're leaving your seat and you don't want no one to take your seat, and you just put your bag there or your shirt there and say, I'm coming back, just 1 second, right? Why can't you go and ask a question of a De Zerbi? Why is everyone sleeping on that guy? Because I tell you what, whenever Pep decides to leave, which could be at the end of his contract, 2025 or whatever, we don't wasting any time or playing softy. We'll go into Brighton and say we want him.
Yeah,
so
that's
what a big club do. So you're saying that if it's not going to be Eddie Howe, it should be De Zerbi.
Yeah.
Ask the question.
Yeah.
Ask the question.
Yeah,
yes.
I think you know what? I'll go. I will second that, and I will say it and day right. A project at Newcastle will be right for De Zerbi. Will be
perfect for him. Perfect for him.
Perfect for him. Be perfect, because at the end of the day, he's going to get every help that he wants, and he's got that brain to identify players.
He will have the personality to, because he's got a style of play, right? The players will buy into that philosophy because they go like, you know what, this guy has a style of play. You know, he's going to teach us, he's going to improve us or whatnot. They'll buy into it, and nobody will give him any shit or any nonsense, because even when you hear him talk, he don't take no bullshit from no players. No. Yeah, Caicedo, you want to leave? Be gone then. I'll be all right. I ain't got time for this nonsense. Do you mean, you want to go? Yeah, be gone then. Like, I'm not playing you no more. Like, he's got the personality, he's got that. So why not go for a De Zerbi? There's not a lot of bright managers out there, right? You're a big club, you've got all the money and stuff. You want to aspire for that Champions League. You can see that he's taking Brighton to the Europa League and finishing top of his group and doing well. What do you think he's going to do with Newcastle?
Yeah, facts. No,
that's very true. Could be. I mean, I tell you what. You know, obviously I Eddie in, but he's got to do it next season. He's got to get it right next season. No excuses from him.
You know what, John? To be honest, last thing I'm going to say, I think what you should do is ask the question in summer. This summer, come and ask that question.
In the summer.
This summer. Ask that question in summer. And see what happens. Even if he says like, even if he says like, well, I'm not available yet till next summer. Even if he says that, at least you know anything, and you could just pin him down and say, right, you know what, next summer De Zerbi's coming in, or January he's coming in, or whatever. Do you know what I mean? But I think he's got to start asking that question sooner rather than later. Do you know what I mean? And you know how I feel about Eddie Howe. You know I love the fella and I think he's great, but that doesn't cut it with where your team wants to go. You know,
we've got ambitious owners. We've got ambitious owners. Like, I mean, you know, I mean, I'm going to give Eddie another season. I'm going to give Eddie another season, no doubt about it. You know what I mean? What he's done is amazing. But to go where you want to go, then I can see the point. I can understand.
Oda May, listen, thank you for coming on my show, and I'll send you the link for next week because listen, you're one of the sort of like foundation guys on my channel. You know what I mean? You've been rocking with me when I had like 35 subscribers. Imagine that, 35 subscribers. This man was here. We was doing like debates at the day, backwards and forwards at the day to sort of like to the early hours of the morning. A whole load of us. It was a whole load of us. And, you know, I missed those days. So, listen, and they are going to get you back here next week. John, I'm going to get you back here next week as well. You know what I mean?
No problem there.
And let you know and that. But, listen, thank you for coming in tonight. Thank you for everybody in the chat that took part in this show. It's episode 1. Episode 2 will be coming next week. You know what I mean? But thank you to Jim and everybody that I haven't mentioned, Ravi, the lot. Thank you to everybody that's taken part in the show tonight, asking questions and giving your good comments as well. Do you know what I mean? Guys, if you're going to watch this on a replay, please like and subscribe to the channel and also share the content with all across social media, okay? Please subscribe to John Sinclair's channel as well, John Sinclair TV. As it's there, that's how it is. Please subscribe to that as well. You know what I mean? Yeah? And listen, at the day, mate, at the day, if you ever decide to get a channel and think that right, listen, any help that you need, I will give it to you. You know what I mean? That's if you ever decide it, mind you.
Now I'm happy just coming on and just sprinkling little bits here and there, you know.
Yeah. And you do it well. Although at the day you got me in a trap tonight.
I've exposed what you mans are doing. I've exposed you tonight. Now people are gonna see it. I've exposed you. Trying to be hiding and tiptoeing like.
Going back to our question, back to Alan, right? Alan Smith, by the way. I've got like a sore lip bit because
this one
freezing, got a bit of a cut there because the sore lip, as you can see. So it's going away.
Okay, that's okay. It's okay.
And it's just the cool weather sort of thing. So unfortunately, I got caught in it.
You're still beautiful, mate. You're still beautiful.
I do apologize, Alan Smith. I do apologize, mate.
Listen, I'll bid you that, guys, at the day, a very good night. Okay.
You too.
I'll say that again. Watch this on the replay. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Also share the content across social media, and also make sure you subscribe to John Sinclair TV as well. Make sure you like and subscribe to his channel as well. He does some amazing content. Trust me, amazing content. So make sure you give him the support. So, guys, I more likely should be back tomorrow evening sometime. We're gonna get a show together for tomorrow evening, and then the evening after that. So I'm trying to sort of like make it more of, you know, consecutive, so you get good content all the time. That's what I'm saying today. Please like and subscribe. But in the meantime, peace, God bless you, and God bless everybody that's watched tonight. God bless you. Take care.
Peace.
You too. Peace, baby.